Hey everyone, Greg here with an update on my homebrew pinball machine that I'm calling Beerfest. It's been about 2 months since I posted a video showing my latest. If you recall that first video, it was pretty boring to play. It had walls on the edges and it had two flippers with buttons, and that was about it. You could play a full game, but it didn't have all the cool ramps and slingshots and whatnot that this does. So I wanted to post a video to give you an update. This is connected right now to my computer, which is controlling all the game logic, responding to when the ball drops in holes, hits targets, it'll play audio. So as I walk through the various devices, you'll hear the audio coming from the background. So I've got two flippers with switches mounted. You recall that from the other video? I've got my trough set up still. You can watch one of the other videos to show exactly how that works, but that will get the ball in play. I don't have a plunger mounted on this version. I built this cool, they call it a rotisserie. It allows me to rotate the pinball playfield 180 degrees, so I have easy access to the bottom. That has saved me a lot of time, I'm sure, and body twisting trying to get under to wire things up. I can easily just rotate it over and solder and hot glue things and then rotate it back and play. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad I did that. We got a start button there. That'll start our games. I've got two slingshots mounted like so. So those are kind of cool. I've got a target set up here. When the ball hits that, chance. You hear the audio say chance. I think I'm going to use that for an in-round score multiplier. I don't know, every time you hit the chance, your score multiplier goes from 1 to 2 to 3 and so on. I've got two targets in front of this beer pong table setup I've got there. Whenever you hit one of those, it says Prost. All these clips, by the way, are from the movie Beerfest, so if you've seen Beerfest, you might recognize some of those clips. I've got drop targets mounted over there. Basically a drop target, whenever you hit it, you can see this top one is already down into the playfield. Whenever you hit it, chug your beard, it'll drop down into the playfield. I also have it wired up to play a clip depending on which target you hit. Take a hit. And if you hit all three of them, they automatically reset for now. I'm probably going to use this for an in-game mode. If you gotta knock all three of them down in 30 seconds or 60 seconds. I haven't yet decided. Do a shot, chug your beard, take a hit. So that's the drop target. Those are pretty cool. I've got two saucer holes cut out in the playfield. It's kind of cool. You can actually see the infrared transmitter on the opto sensor right there. I've got two of these holes cut. These are kind of cool. When the ball rolls into the hole, I've got a mechanism that I designed and 3D printed below that captures the ball, and then I can tell it when I want to eject the ball. Kind of a funny story in this, I bought the wrong coil mechanisms for these guys when I wanted to put them into my machine. The coil mechanism is actually for a completely different purpose. I didn't realize that until I got them. So I designed and repurposed them to do what I needed them to do. And they work pretty well. So if we go back to the top here. No matter what, I'm drunk. So the ball gets ejected after the clip plays. No matter what, I'm drunk. I'm actually going to use this one, I think, to select a new mode to play. So I'm probably going to have 5 modes here on the playfield. I'll eventually have lights and all that. I don't have any lights right now. So that's going to be the mode selector, and then up here, this will probably be some kind of bonus. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. But if you get the ball into this one, play rim rules. It ejects it out into the pop bumper area. I'll get to that in a second.
You play rim rules?
So it ejects it into this pop bumper area. If you can see back there, I've got 2 pop bumpers mounted into this upper area, and when the ball gets up in there, it can go a little crazy. So those pop bumpers fling the ball around up there, and eventually the ball will come back out into the playfield. And if you're lucky enough to get it up the ramp, this right ramp leads to this upper playfield that I built that I'm calling Drinko, based on the Price is Right Plinko, if you've seen that. And so the ball gets shot up here, the ball will bounce around and travel through 7 different paths. I'm going to have sensors on each of these and then lights, and I'll probably use that for some kind of bonus play. If you light all the lights, you get some kind of bonus, and it resets. When it gets down to the bottom of this Drinko playfield, it drops into these cups. These are beer pongs mounted on a table. This guy can rotate. It's actually not rotating yet. That's one thing I still have to work out. But I do have it designed with little trap doors in there. So this is meant to be a multi-ball. Right now, the ball just drops through. But eventually I'm going to have it so that it can hold the ball. When you get it the first time, I'll have this rotate. You trap the second ball, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to use as the trigger for the third one. But once you get all 3, multi-ball will be launched, and you'll have 3 balls flying around all at the same time. So that'll be a little fun. I've got this left center ramp here, so when you shoot it up this, they're not mounted yet, but I'm going to make little steel rod rails. If you've seen those in pinball machines that curve around. So I'll have this split into 2 different paths. So depending on which path you take, I'm probably going to drop it in this lane if it goes over here. And if it goes over here, I'll probably have another one that'll drop it somewhere over here. Finally, I think it's finally, I have this orbit over here that leads into a ramp that then leads into the pop bumper area, and it's got a little spinning device there with a switch. That's not wired up yet. I think this is going to be my shits and giggle tavern little object. So the ball gets launched up there, falls into the pop bumper area, and then back down. So that seems to be working as well. Last thing, let's go down here again. Just want to show you the wiring. If you recall on the previous video I just had circuit boards laying around, and it was not very clean. So since then I have mounted them all on a board very neatly. As you can see, very neat, right? Not. It does look a little messy, but there is some method to the madness. I've got electrical tape binding certain sets of wires that are common, so it helps kind of declutter as best as possible. In the back, those 2 right there, those are coil drivers. I've got one operating at 48 volts, another one operating at 12 volts, because I have 2 flavors of solenoids, if you will. That guy in the back there, that's not used yet. That's going to be the LED light driver. I'll probably need to get another one of those boards. These 3 are my switch boards. So as you can see, I've got 1, 2, almost 3 sets of Banks switches wired up. So those go to, flipper switches, all my opto sensors and whatnot. Then I've got my 48 volt power supply back there and a 12 volt power supply here. And then the P3 rock board that kind of controls all of the sensors and all of the coil driving. That has a USB port that goes to my laptop. I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment if you want any further explanation of anything that I might have missed. Oh, I do have one extra target there. I don't have it wired up to anything. yet. I'm not sure what sound I'm going to play. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.